You ever think about your life? Like, what if it's not just a bunch of random stuff happening? What if it's all a collection of stories? And each story, has a point, a clue to figuring out who we really are. Okay, let's just dive right into this idea.
Right, so the whole idea here is it's not enough to just go through the motions. We're supposed to be on a quest for meaning. The author puts it perfectly. These stories are meant to be pondered over. It's like every single experience is a piece of this giant puzzle. And our job? Well, our only job really is to just pay attention.
I mean, just let that sink in for a second. We spend so much of our lives looking for stuff on the outside, right? Success, happiness, the next big adventure. But what if the whole time, the map we've been looking for has been pointing inward?
So, you know how every great quest, every epic story, starts with that call to adventure? It's that one moment, that one thing that just completely shatters your normal, everyday world and throws you onto a totally new path. Well, for the author here, that moment was wow. It was both terrifying and incredibly profound. Okay, try to picture this. You're 18, you're in France, surfing a legendary spot. You drop in on this massive 15-foot wave, you're free falling down the face of it, and then, bam, a rip current grabs you. And it's not just any current, it's like a river, just pulling you out to sea. This isn't just a wipeout. This is that moment where you genuinely think, oh man, this is it. This is how it ends.
So, right there, on the very edge of life and death, he closes his eyes. And what does he see? This incredible, brilliant light and a small Indian boy. The very next thing he knows, he's back on the shore. People who saw it called it a miracle. But here's the thing. That vision, it didn't just save his life. It gave him a destination, a purpose. The very next day, he knew what he had to do. He decided he was going to India.
And just like that, the classic hero's journey begins, right? He leaves everything he knows behind and just ventures into the complete unknown. And we're not talking about a plane ticket. No, this was a physical overland trek, a real boots-on-the-ground immersion into totally different worlds and cultures.
Just look at this path. I mean, wow. This was not a comfortable flight. This was driving through communist Yugoslavia where everyone's suspicious of outsiders. It was trying to navigate Istanbul, this incredible city where East literally meets West, but with police walking around carrying submachine guns. And then crossing through Afghanistan, which he said felt like being transported back to an old Wild West town. And get this, he finally arrives at the Indian border on the exact day a war with Pakistan breaks out. The border slams shut for 5 years right after he crossed. Can you even imagine that timing?
So after all that, after this incredible outward journey, he finally gets there. And what does he discover? The real destination. It wasn't a place on a map at all. Nope. It was somewhere else entirely.
When he gets to India, he starts hearing these teachings that the entire universe, I'm talking the sun, the moon, all the stars, it all exists inside of us. And you can imagine, right, as he puts it, that was completely over their heads. I mean, how is that even possible? It makes no sense at first.
But then came the initiation. This wasn't about ideas anymore. This was about direct experience. An initiator just touches his forehead, and he feels this unbelievable surge of energy. His consciousness, well, it literally left his physical body. This wasn't some philosophical concept anymore. This was real.
So what did he see? First, a golden circle of light, and inside that, a brilliant blue star. And then, that star just transforms. It becomes this infinite tunnel of blue light, and he just merges with it. He says it was more real, more vivid than anything he'd ever experienced in the physical world. For him, that was it. That was the proof. We are so much more than just our physical bodies.
And the experience didn't even stop with the light. He was also shown how to listen, how to tune in to this sort of inner music, these really subtle energy frequencies that, different religions call the Word of God. And the amazing thing is, when you listen to this inner vibration, your mind just naturally quiets down, and your whole being just fills up with this feeling of pure love and bliss.
Okay, so he has this absolutely life-changing experience. But now what, right? How do you hold on to that? How do you maintain that state in everyday life? Well, this is where the source material gets really practical. It offers up some wisdom in the form of these simple but really powerful fables. Think of them as tools that really anyone can use.
First things first, you gotta understand the problem we're all dealing with. It's called the monkey mind, and we've all been there, haven't we? Your mind just will not shut up. It's just jumping from one thought to the next, to a worry, to a memory, back to a thought, like a monkey swinging from branch to branch. It's completely out of control, and honestly, it's exhausting.
So check out this story that helps explain it. There's this guy. He saves a genie. But of course there's a catch. He has to always be giving the genie a wish, a command. If he ever stops, the genie will chop off his head. So this poor guy is just completely worn out, constantly trying to think up new wishes. He can't sleep, he can't rest, nothing. So he goes to a wise man, and the solution is brilliant and so simple. He says, give the genie a task it can do forever. Tell it to go up and down this pole. And of course, in this parable, the genie, that's your mind, right? Constantly demanding thoughts. And the pole, that's your breath. So by giving your mind this simple, endless task, just focusing on the rhythm of your breathing, you give that restless genie something to do. And you can finally get some peace.
This whole shift in perspective, it's perfectly captured in another great little story, The Frog in the Well. You've got this frog, and he's lived his whole life in this little well. To him, that well is the entire world. He has absolutely no concept of something as vast as an ocean. And a lot of us are kind of like that frog, aren't we? We live inside the tiny well of our own limited experience, totally unaware that there's this vast, boundless ocean of love and bliss right inside of us.
Okay, so let's bring this all home. We've got this incredible outward adventure trekking across continents, and then we've got this inward discovery of a whole universe inside. So the big question is, how do these two journeys fit together? Well, this is where it all clicks into place. It turns out they were never really separate journeys to begin with. You see, that physical track with all of its struggles and all the new perspectives he gained, all of that was absolutely necessary. It was preparing the ground, so to speak, for the inner discovery. The inward journey and the outward journey, they're one and the same.
And this brings us full circle, right back to that question from the very beginning. Remember the story of the jeweler and the thief? The thief is tearing the house apart, searching everywhere for this precious jewel, night after night. And where did the clever jeweler hide it? Under the thief's own pillow. The very last place he would ever think to look. And that's the whole point. The greatest treasure, it's right here. It's been inside of us the entire time.
Which leads me to one last really famous parable. The one about the 3 blind men and the elephant. So they come across an elephant for the first time. One guy touches the tusk and says, aha, it's a spear. The second touches the leg and says, nope, it's a tree. And the third grabs the tail and is convinced it's a rope. Now here's the thing. They're all right, in a way. They're all experiencing a part of the truth, but none of them can see the whole animal. Each one has a piece of the puzzle, but not the puzzle itself.
And really, that's the question I want to leave you with today. Every experience, every single story in your life, that's you touching a different part of your own incredible, complex, magnificent journey. So just take a moment and think about it. What part of your own story, what piece of your own elephant are you touching right now? And what might that little piece tell you about the whole amazing picture?